Hey, what's going on, everybody? I think we're live. Oh, and there's JP himself, right as I go live.
Hey!
I hit the button like not more than 10 seconds ago.
I was gonna say, because you weren't live yet on my iPad yet, so.
Oh, really?
Well, you are now, but
I am now.
When I logged in.
Zen, that's some Zen stuff. So I just wanted to hop on here real quick and probably 2 days late do a quick recap of my time in Chicago for Star Wars Celebration 2019 and showcase a little bit of the haul I got both at the convention and just what I did while I was in Chicago, what I picked up while I was in Chicago in general. Hey, Bake the Snake, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping in. So, of course, Jason and I did link up there at the con, which was fun. It was awesome meeting you and your sister.
Yeah.
And all in all, like, not to simplify it like too much, the convention was a major success, I think, for Star Wars fans, for Lucasfilm, for Disney, and I had a blast. I was there for all 5 days. I don't know how I survived.
I don't know how you did that. I don't know how you did that.
But I made it. I made it through to the other side. I'm back home. I'm physically exhausted and drained, honestly. Like I'm trying to get back to normal, like back to work and stuff, and it's just, whew, I'm so tired. But you know, my review is that I had an awesome time. That's the review, and I thought it was fantastically done, fantastically organized. You know, could I do with maybe half the amount of people so that you could get into more things, or you didn't have to wait on lines? Yeah, of course. But like that didn't really detract from my overall experience in having an amazing time at Star Wars Celebration this year. So I know that they've already announced Anaheim for 2020 next year, and I'm already thinking about it. I'm already curious about when tickets go on sale for next year, Anaheim 2020. So I'm 2 days removed, honestly, from this 5-day, Star Wars, total immersion experience, and I'm already thinking about possibly going back next year. Although if they do it next year, I would imagine it would have to be like streaming service focused or TV content focused, because they are taking a little hiatus as far as movies after Episode 9, so or after Rise of Skywalker rather.
Yeah.
So I would imagine it's probably going to be more TV and maybe other stuff focused next year.
My guess is the only movie stuff is you might get movie announcements of
you might
what they're going to do next. Like you won't get footage,
right?
But you'll get announcements.
Yeah, because I would probably guess that that's true, because they're probably going to take the next year or so to sort of actually figure that out, so that they can even talk about anything whatsoever, and then that would be the place to maybe have the first mentions of what their plans are.
Yeah.
Because I know that Kathleen Kennedy basically said that they're talking about their quote unquote 10-year plan for Star Wars movies, right?
Right.
So whether we get a 10-year plan for Star Wars movies next year at Star Wars Celebration, or we just get, hints of what the first few years looks like, remains to be seen, right? But I am still curious, and who knows when they announce the details for the event besides Anaheim 2020, which is what we know so far. I'm gonna probably at least try to go for a day or two, maybe next year. I don't know about all 5 days, because that was kind of insane, honestly.
Yeah, there's just a lot of walking, but I think the worst part is the line standing. Like
the line standing was, because especially like when you can't sit down while you wait, or if your only sit down option is the floor, which ain't exactly comfortable. Like
no,
But that said, I had an amazing time. I mean, the quick recap is Thursday was the preview day. That was the first day. There was essentially nothing going on as far as panels, announcements, trailers, all that. So basically, I just walked the show floor for like 7 or 8 hours. You know what I mean? And I sort of got the lay of the land. Like I walked around, figured out where things were, where the main arena was, where the other panel rooms are. You know, basically, I oriented myself so that I wouldn't have to do that on the fly during the important days, right? And that was the sort of mission of day one. Day two, the big thing was the episode 9 panel in the morning. That was absolutely fantastic, especially even though we both couldn't get into the actual main arena. You got into one of the side stages, and I watched it from the Star Wars show live stage or whatever, with all those folks. And that stage got packed all the way to the back. Like, I mean, the whole convention floor from the Star Wars live show stage to the back of the convention was absolutely packed for the episode 9 panel and subsequent trailer. And everybody's just going buck wild, of course, you know, when the Emperor laughs and the title comes. It was just, it was one of those like chill, hair raising, chill moments that I've ever had, you know, it being part of a fandom or going to cons. It was one of the more memorable moments that I can ever think of, especially surrounded by thousands of other people as geeky or nerdy about something as I am.
Yeah,
You know?
I think that made it even better. Like, you know, the reveal of the Emperor with him laughing and the title would have been, I would have been excited about it, but the fact that there's all these 1,000 people, you know, thousands of people around you like screaming, and it just like
made it incredible. Made it incredible. Hey, what's up, Perry Comics and DK Comics and Cosplay? What's up, Delphia? Good to see you guys. Thanks for stopping in. So that was the big thing of day one. I mean, other things happened day one, but it's hard to remember because the rest of the day is a blur. You know what I mean? And day day 2, I guess technically, but whatever. Friday, right? So Saturday, the bigger panels were the Galaxy's Edge stuff, which I kind of like. You know, I'm curious about, but you know, I just want to go to the park. You know what I mean? I don't. I'm not so much interested in watching a panel about it. I want to go to the park, which will be amazing to do next year for Celebration because it's in Anaheim, so you can go to the park and the convention at the same time, theoretically.
I didn't even think about that.
Think about that.
They're doing it there.
It makes a lot of sense that they're doing it there. And then the other big thing was Jedi Fallen Order, the new Respawn EA story-based game with a Jedi after Order 66 on the run. They dropped a trailer for that game. I thought it was really cool looking, and I'm super curious about the story. I'm not a huge gamer, but if there's an original story in there, especially and it's Star Wars and it's canon, I'm going to be in. So, so I was pretty stoked about that. But then let's just move right on into Sunday, the Mandalorian panel.
That was the highlight for me.
That was the highlight. I mean, both JP and myself made it into the actual arena where they showed all the exclusive footage. So we were actually in the real room for that one. And that ended up we ended up lucking out into the most like exclusive panel of the whole thing, which was the Mandalorian.
Did they black out any of the other panels? I don't think they did. I think
no. Almost, I believe that was the only panel where things, you know, elements of the panel, like the behind the scenes featurette, the full scene that they played, and the trailer that they played at the end twice, were blocked out from the live stream. Of course, rogue footage has made its way to YouTube, and thousands of people have now seen it, you know, anyway. But I think that was, you know, an intentional, I guess, marketing strategy, because to me, it didn't look it was fully done. Like the production still needed some fine tuning. I think that's probably why they held it back. Like
there were a couple of scenes in the trailer that looked still like a little rough.
They're a little unfinished. So I guarantee you that's
close.
Why. But it's close, and it was fantastic. I mean, without spending an hour on it, I was so stoked after watching the footage.
Like when they announced The Mandalorian, despite the fact that they announced Favreau and then pretty close after that Filoni were involved, I really wasn't very hyped about it. I was like, eh. Then I got a little bit excited when they announced Pablo Pascal's casting. I was like, okay, this might have some potential. But boy, after that panel, I am super excited about that show.
Oh yeah. I mean, it just looks like it has all the different elements that sort of give you that you know, just that vibe that you want, you know. So that, I mean, that was definitely,
to me, is a show that has the potential to be really, really good, even if it wasn't a Star Wars show.
Yeah.
Like just him, you could have put that in him in the Old West or anything else, and I think it works. But then you add these extra elements that Star Wars can bring. I think it
Yeah, I mean, I think we've only scratched the surface as far as what we know and what we've seen. So I look forward to an official trailer at some point and just more details. But for the time being, I'm satiated. You know what I mean? Like I don't need, like I'm good for now. Like when we start getting closer, I'll start getting antsy and stuff because it'll be coming out, you know. But for now, I can sort of just daydream about what I did already see, and you know, just be super stoked to eventually see it later in the fall. So
yeah.
So another major panel that happened on Sunday, which I checked out from the Star Wars show stage, was the Clone Wars season coming back on Disney Plus. Finally, you know, closing out that show, which never was able to be closed out, which was fantastic news when I first heard about it. I think Filoni dropped that news at San Diego Comic-Con last year.
Yeah, I think
they did at San Diego Comic-Con last year. They were doing like a Clone Wars, you know, retrospective panel or whatever. And then at the end of it, he was like, "Oh wait, I got one more thing," and we're back. You know what I mean? And that was pretty sweet. The animation looks sick. Bake asked, "How does the animation look?" Animation looks dope. They even upgraded the animation from like the final season of Clone Wars. Like,
yeah, I think it looks better.
Looks even better. I mean, it still has the same vibe and everything. It still looks like Clone Wars, but it's even better now.
Looks like a cross between Clone Wars and Rebels to me.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
You know, that some of the upgrades they made for Rebels, they've kind of incorporated back into that Clone Wars look.
So Bake's asking, is there any Rebels tie-ins? There is a little bit, because if you're going into Rebels, you hear talk of how Darth Maul and Ahsoka had clashed at some point, but you don't know where or when or how, because they didn't get to that in Clone Wars. Well, now they're finally getting to that, and it feels like, based on what I saw, it feels like Ahsoka is the main character for this new season of Clone Wars, and the arc of the season is getting her to a battle with Maul, which they teased in the trailer, which looks amazing. Yeah. And it's really going to be about her sort of ascension. She's back with Anakin, you know, even though she's left the Order, she's back. You know, I don't know how that relationship or dynamic works. It's probably awkward, you know.
The scene they talk about where she left him to go do something,
right?
Like, and then Order 66 happened, and she never found him again. I think we're going to see that.
Yes.
Based on what, you know.
Yeah. So it's what, 10 episodes or 12 episodes? I forget.
I don't remember.
I think it's 12 eps. I think it's 12.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So I thought it was amazing. Speaking of Rebels, I did end up going to the Rebels Remembered panel. They didn't announce anything new. But Filoni was there, and he was like specifically calling out that, yes, we ended Rebels. No surprises. We're not going to bring Rebels back, but Clone Wars is coming back. But the Rebels panel was fantastic. It was cool. A lot of cool behind the scenes and stuff like that. I also was able to check out the Resistance Season 2 panel on Monday, which is that other sort of Disney Channel show that takes place before Force Awakens. And that show's a little bit more targeted towards younger kids, but I do appreciate it. I actually find it pretty entertaining. And I watched all of season 1. So they did have a panel for that show as well to sneak peek at season 2. And they actually played the entire first episode of season 2 at the end of the panel, which was really cool. So what else happened? I mean, I watched the 20th anniversary of the Phantom Menace panel on Monday as well, which, you know, was fine. You know, like it's cool that movie has reached 20 years old, but I didn't really expect anything mind-blowing from that panel, you know?
Yeah, it didn't even seem like, I didn't watch all of it, but like the highlights or the few fake clips I saw, like none of it, even though Hayden Christensen. I guess so. He wasn't in that movie.
He wasn't in that movie.
Yeah.
If it was the 20th anniversary of Attack of the Clones, he would have been on the panel.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I hadn't really registered that, but yeah. So there wasn't anybody.
And, I don't think Jake Lloyd. Was it Jake Lloyd, the kid that played Anakin? I don't think he's quite a fan of the community because of how much he got, because of how much he got attacked for his performance of Anakin as a little kid, which just drives me insane that adults would do that to a little kid. But
a kid, yeah, he's a kid playing a kid. What the yeah.
I don't want to spend time on that. That's just kind of sad. But
yeah.
Anyway, so from a content standpoint, I thought the con had a lot to offer. From a vendor and experience standpoint, I thought it had a ton to offer as well. I was kind of overwhelmed, honestly, at sort of all the different types of toy vendors and just different kinds of things within the Star Wars universe that people collect. And I'm not big on statues and figures and things like that. For my Star Wars, I guess collecting is more about like swag, if you will, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like little trinkets or clothes, hats, stuff like that. But I was able to pick up a bunch of stuff. So I guess I'll start. Should I get into the haul? Yeah,
sure,
let me start showing some stuff. So
I showed everything that I had already.
So
a lot, but
yeah. So hold on.
Which took a lot of willpower, but
I'm sure. So starting with the convention package itself, I got a 5-day adult pass or adult badge. The 5-day adult badge was this image of Rey. So anybody who got a 5-day adult badge had this badge. If you had like a media pass, you had a different character. I think you had Queen Amidala. If you had like a single day, a Thursday, a Friday, a Saturday, you had different.
Like Friday was
there you go.
Kylo Ren. And then I don't know if it clicked over to me or not. And then Sunday was the Mandalorian.
Ooh, I'm jealous of that one.
Yeah. So those were the 2 day passes.
Right. And then I was able to get this sort of fancy lanyard. This Star Wars Celebration 2019 custom lanyard. I also just for the hell of it picked up the free lanyard.
I grabbed the free one.
The one that's like sponsored by Amazon or whatever, Shop the Galaxy or whatever. So that's the free one, but obviously the official one is way cooler with this super awesome design throughout. Hey, what's up, Javier Salas? It's good to see you. Bake says I've come to have a new appreciation of Phantom Menace. I do too, actually. It's a great movie. It has its faults, but so do all movies. So what else came with? So here's a couple other cool things that came with my package. I got this Star Wars Celebration 2019 Chicago pin.
Nice.
And then I got this Star Wars Celebration 2019 Rey pin.
Oh, so you did get the Rey. Nice.
Yeah, I got the Rey.
So that was just to the 5-day people then. That was part of the 5-day package.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Exclusive to those. I got this other pin. It was like this anti-bullying campaign pin. Where you see this like essentially handshake going on. It wasn't part of a package. I actually picked this up for free from somebody while waiting on a line. So
there you go.
They were handing them out or whatever. So I just picked them up and then I signed up for like some anti-online harassment like petition or something like that.
I never realized pins were such a huge deal.
Huge deal.
They were huge. Like my sister got onto the Funko booth. Like she got the Funko booth. If you watch the thing, she got in the lottery, and you could buy an exclusive Ahsoka pin at the Funko booth. And while she was trying to buy her stuff, 4 guys approached and asked if she was buying the Ahsoka pin, and if she wasn't, could they buy it?
And I remember that other person that went up to your sister when we were on that line for that other kiosk.
Yeah.
He was like, if you're, I'll buy. He was like, I'll buy these from you. Like, I'll pay you more than what you're paying. It's like, It's like you could flip stuff to like people on the line that you were on, like 10
it was crazy.
spots behind you. It was like,
well, I had picked up when we went into the store. I got the little BB-8 pen, and I had 3 people try to get that for me on Sunday.
That's crazy. It's crazy, man. Anyway, so this was the official program. I was somehow able to keep mine in like pretty much mint condition. Yeah, look at that. So I might actually bag and board this sucker.
That's actually not a bad idea. I hadn't thought about that.
Yeah, I might bag and board that sucker. And then one of my other favorite sort of freebie items was this Bandai Booth. I guess you'd call it a flyer or brochure, but they do all these like samurai sort of interpretations.
Yeah, those are cool
of stuff. So like the artwork on this thing is like badass. Look at that. I'm just gonna move it and then I'll flip it. Look at that stuff. So cool. So yeah, I thought this was pretty sweet. I don't know if I'm gonna display it or just put it in a folder and call it a day, but it's pretty cool. And then another freebie I was able to pick up was this from the Del Rey publishing booth. This was and you got one of those too. Star Wars Del Rey free sampler, and then it also comes with this I am a Sith reader bookmark. But if you're a different kind of reader, they made you take a survey, determine what kind of reader you are.
You were a Sith reader, huh?
I'm a Sith reader. I'm definitely a Sith reader.
Archivist. I have no idea.
You're an archivist. I'm a Sith reader. Hey, Justarican and his comics. What's up, Rod?
Hey, Rod. I'm in here.
Basically, this is just a free book where they take a bunch of their other original Star Wars books or adaptations, and they include some chapters from each book. So it's like a sampler book. So yeah, this was a free book that essentially gives you a little bit of a taste of other books that you'll end up wanting to buy. Like here you go. Here's a little taste of Lords of the Sith. Check it out. And then they include the cover artwork in there, and then a couple selections from each book. So that's pretty cool. Pick that up. Everything so far was either included in my package or free. So what I can't show you that was also included in my package was the official Star Wars Celebration t-shirt and the official Star Wars Celebration hoodie. So I got both of those items. They're both really dope. I can't show them to you now because they're in the laundry, because I wore them while I was there at the con, and
they're actually still in the laundry.
They need to be in the laundry.
Wow.
They need to be in the laundry. So the only other major there's some other freebie things also, but I think you got this at the same time as I got this on the floor. Somebody was handing these out. These are
I don't know what happened to mine. Mine might have ended up with my niece and nephew.
So these are Star Wars light up candy lightsabers. So they literally light up, and this is like some sort of like cherry flavor or something. I don't know. So I haven't bit into this yet, but maybe if I feel like a sugar high at some point, I'll crack this open. But I got the Kylo Ren cherry flavor, so you got the little there. So pretty sweet, little cool candy swag for free there as well. So the other free things, then I'll start getting the things I actually paid my money for, were some of the posters and stuff from the exclusive panels. So these are posters exclusive to people who attended certain panels, right?
Okay.
So I think, and you picked this one up as well.
Yeah,
right?
We got the Mandalorian one.
So this is the Mandalorian one. So if you were in the Mandalorian panel, you received this exclusive Mandalorian poster. Pretty cool. Not sure how it didn't get completely damaged on my way home without a poster tube, but I didn't even have a poster tube. I just carefully packaged everything in a way, and then like put it into like a giant plastic bag and like wrapped it tight. So it was like a makeshift poster tube. Where it was like form fitted to like the stack that I made, but it wasn't quite a poster tube, but it survived, and it's not bent up. It's just full. It's just rolly. I gotta unroll it. And then for going to the Star Wars Rebels Remembered panel, this was the exclusive poster.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so pretty sweet.
That's cool.
Pretty sweet exclusive Star Wars Rebels poster. And finally, I alluded to it earlier. I went to the Star Wars Resistance Season 2 sneak peek. So this was the exclusive poster there.
Oh, that's kind of a cool poster too.
Yeah, cool looking poster. And then bonus on the back, another piece of original art from the executive producer of the show, Justin Ridge.
Nice.
So, yeah. So pretty cool. So that's all the free stuff.
Dang, you made out on free stuff. You got a lot more free stuff than I got.
I know, right? Dude, I got a lot of free stuff. It's pretty sweet. Pretty happy with my free stuff. So let's get into some of the paid stuff, right? So first, let's go with some swag. So I picked up this, basically this reversible beanie hat, and believe me, with that day where it snowed, I really needed this.
Yeah,
I really, I got soaking wet. So for the Chicago weather, this came in super handy. So love that sort of color scheme and the Rebel thing, but it's also reversible if you feel like empiring it or first ordering it.
Nice.
So pretty dope beanie right there. It's very comfy, very, very comfy. So cool. Happy to have that one, and it'll come in handy here next winter, I'm sure. And then this is the only thing I picked up from the official Star Wars Celebration store while I was there. I was able to get a Lightspeed pass, so I just went right in. I didn't have to wait on any line.
Yeah.
So I was lucky. But basically, it's a snapback official The Star Wars Show hat, which is only available in the store. And on the front, it says "Shot on location at Lucasfilm headquarters."
Cool.
So pretty sweet. So that's one hat, and then I picked up another hat from one of the vendors, and it's this hat right here. So yeah. So basically, it's a Luke and Vader scene from one of the old school Marvel comics.
Yeah.
Reprinted on the front of the cap, and then it's studded across the top. I should have probably worn this one for this stream, but what are you gonna do? Pretty sweet. So just adding a little bit to my geeky hat collection, my Star Wars hat collection, with a couple of those pieces. So I was excited to pick those up. Let me find the next thing I picked up. Okay, so let's go to these. So I found this vintage dealer, and I was able to pick up this. So this is from Buena Vista Records. It's a read-along adventure where it's basically a book and tape. Yeah. It's a book and tape, cassette tape combination read-along, where it's like a 24-page book. It has full-color illustrations, and then it has like a fully produced audio reading with like sound effects, music, and everything for basically kids to read along and listen to the book. And Buena Vista Records put this out in like what? Let's see, let's see if there's a copyright here anywhere.
It'd be like 83, 84, I would think.
Yeah, I mean definitely the 80s.
Wait, it came out in 84, so it'd be 84, 85 probably.
Probably, yeah. I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it, but yeah, Return of the Jedi. It's called the Read Along Adventure, 24-page full color book. It's very much in the poly bag still. Nice. If you want to compare it to comic book, but I am very tempted to crack this puppy open and actually
listen to it
and read it.
Do you have a way to play that anymore?
I think I might have an old tape player somewhere, and if I don't, I could pick one up pretty cheap. But but this is not. I wouldn't be able to flip this for a ton of money or anything. So I may as well experience it. You know what I mean? But that said, I am a comic book collector, so I'm partial to variants sometimes. So that if you consider that the A cover, this is the B cover. So you got the alternate publishing, the B cover where you have C3PO and R2D2 here. So If I want to keep one of them pristine in the poly bag, I could do that, and I can open the other one potentially. So there's the back cover.
Cool. They had an A and a B, huh? That's awesome.
A cover and B cover for the Return of the Jedi Star Wars read-along book and tape from Buena Vista Records. Rock and roll. All right, so moving from the 80s to the early 2000s, I picked up this Xbox Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game, of which I never really, I mean, I've checked it out before back in the day when it first came out, but I never got fully immersed into playing it.
Right.
And never truly got to experience the entire story. And, you know, there are a plethora of Star Wars fans out there that consider this the best Star Wars story, you know, even though it's not necessarily canon yet, or you know, not necessarily canon, and maybe pieces of it will be canon eventually, but pick this up. It's in pretty damn nice quality shape for, you know, an Xbox original system game. But I thought it was pretty funny that it's kind of in like a Mylar bag. I didn't even know that those existed for video games.
Oh, they exist for everything nowadays.
Yeah, but definitely pretty cool. Pretty happy to have this. And I'm gonna hopefully find the time to play this. I gotta also need to find the time to play the Spider-Man game, which I bought and I still haven't played, but what are you gonna do? So
oh no.
So what else? What should I show next? I didn't get a ton of stuff. So all right, here's what I'll show next. So I picked, so these, I stumbled across this dealer that were selling these kind of like custom, I don't even know what to call them. I guess I would call them placards, or like, I don't know, that they're just kind of like commemorative display pieces. And I think they're put together by Disney's Showcase Collection. But what they are, they're actually taking original Star Wars 70 millimeter print from like the film cuts, and they're creating a display around one frame. So I don't know if you can actually see the frame. It's kind of hard to see.
Depending on how you turn the light, you can kind of see it.
Yeah, I don't know. What about now? What can you? Yeah, you can kind of see it there, right? Yeah. So this is Yoda from The Empire Strikes Back. That's an actual piece of 70 millimeter film from the movie itself. And then on the back, you see a couple other scenes, and then you have some descriptions. So it's pretty sweet, actually.
Cool. After you talked about picking that up, we went and looked at them. They were cool.
They're cool, and I think they were like 3 for $15 or something like that, or $20 maybe. I don't know. So pretty affordable, but they look really cool, and I just love old school film, just the look of it. So, and it's hard for it to translate on like YouTube, like with the angle and the glare and everything, but still, I thought this was pretty cool, and had to pick up Yoda from Empire. I mean, no brainer for me, Yoda from Empire. And then I also picked up, so I've also picked up Leia from Empire. So there's a one frame of Leia from Empire. I don't know. It's hard to see.
Like, raise it up a little bit. How
about that?
There you go.
How about that? There we go.
Where it can get some light, and you can see it.
Yeah, I got shitty lighting in here, unfortunately. What's up, Comic Head 84? Good to see you. And then, you know, the back here.
Hey, Comic Heads.
Looking pretty sweet with Leia there, and you see that's the final scene.
Yeah.
From Empire, but I thought she looked pretty, you know, classic in that frame, so I picked that up. And I picked up one other one from Empire, which is Lando, and I had Lando on the brain because I was seeing him in the Episode 9 trailer.
Yeah.
So there's old school Lando from Empire on Bespin.
Those are cool.
70 millimeter frame, and then you got some cool stuff on the back as well. What's up, John?
Hey, John.
So I was just, John, I was just showing these like 70 millimeter, original 70 millimeter Star Wars swag items I picked up at the con, which are pretty cool. You got Leia, and you got Lando, and then I got Yoda from Empire. So actual set of 70 and these are all officially licensed. These aren't bootlegged. They're officially licensed products. And then the last one I got, this one was slightly more expensive, and it's for obvious reasons, was Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi. Comic Head says, are those actual pieces of film from the movies? Yes, they are. Yeah. So this is Boba Fett from Return of the Jedi. You could a little bit easier to see this frame. This is actually signed by Jeremy Bulloch, and he signed it Jeremy Bulloch, Boba Fett. So that's probably the coolest thing I picked up at the entire con, if I'm honest.
Yeah, that is pretty sweet.
Yeah. And you can see the back here. Badass. So, you know, just seeing the Mandalorian stuff also kind of re-energized my love of Boba Fett. So just organically, you know, I just got jazzed up. So, yeah, had to get this. So that's cool. So pick those 4 up. I already showed the tapes and the video game, right?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, I think the last Star Wars specific item at the con I got was because I also won one of the lotteries. So I know your sister won the Funko lottery. I won the Lego Booth lottery. So
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so I won the Lego Booth lottery, and my appointment for the exclusive was on Monday, so last day of the con. And the convention exclusive Lego set is this Darth Vader bust. How badass is that?
Yeah, that is cool.
Right? I don't have
the Lego Booth was about out of everything by the time we walked by it on Sunday.
Lego Booth was like hopping the whole con, dude.
Yeah.
People were all over that. This is the back. Get a little side action, side profile. Super sweet. So yeah, I mean, I don't collect Legos, but because I won that exclusive lottery, I had to go take advantage of this. And so this is my first ever Lego collectible item. I don't, you know, because it's Star Wars and because it reminds me of this convention experience, I'll probably keep it. But I am kind of curious how much they're going for on eBay, and or if there are actual Lego collectors out there who are interested in it. I'll probably hang on to it for now though, but I don't know if I'll take it out of the box. You know, I don't know. I mean, do you know anything about the Lego market and how that affects the price?
I do not.
I don't know anything about it.
I've never been a Lego collector. They're really cool. Like, my nephew loves them, but I have never. That's not a market I've ever really been into.
Same.
So
yeah, I know just as much as you, honestly. So anyway, pretty cool item, pretty sweet. I don't know much about Legos, but I did pick that up anyway. Hey, what's up, Ed D? Thanks for stopping by. So the only other thing that I picked up were on Tuesday, after the actual con itself happened, I found myself with about 4 or 5 hours to kill. So, of course, I hit up some local comic shops.
There you go.
So I made a point to hit up one shop on the north side of Chicago and one shop on the south side of Chicago before I went back to the airport. So on the north side of Chicago, I hit up this pretty cool store called Chicago Comics. I did actually post a bunch of stuff on my Instagram story from both of these shops, but I only picked up a few like knickknacks and stuff like that because I was basically completely out of space in all of my bags at this point. You know what I mean? And I couldn't really buy comic books or anything, you know, fragile. So when I went to visit these local comic shops before I headed to the airport to fly home, I basically had in mind only getting like knickknacks and like small items. Right. So from Chicago Comics, I picked up the Chicago Comics patch.
There you go.
Pretty cool. It's kind of got the cityscape Chicago in the design. I picked up these magnets. I got the Avenger symbol. Endgame soon. Can't wait. And then I picked up this Supergirl magnet, which has the Legion of Superheroes Adam Hughes cover on it. So
nice.
Those are gonna go on the fridge in my new place. So that's cool. And then I also picked up this pretty this laminated bookmark of Captain America from an actual so they actually cut this out of an issue because on the back you could see panels and stuff like that. So they actually took this out of an issue and laminated it. So pretty cheap bookmark. But I thought it was pretty cool. Just saw it hanging around in the shop. So picked that up. And then the other comic shop I was able to hit up was this store called First Aid Comics on the south side of Chicago. So I got a free pen from them, First Aid Comics, 1142 West Taylor Street, Chicago, Illinois. A little free pen. And then I picked up some pins from the shop and also another magnet. So I picked up this magnet. It's I Believe in Harvey Dent.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And I picked up a few pins. Talk Dirty to Me. Spider-Man. Whip. May the Force be with you.
There you go.
Yeah. And finally, the Comics Code Authority.
Oh yeah, cool. Those are
cool. Yeah, so this comic shop actually makes all these pins custom themselves. So I figured I'll just pick up a few of them to support them. And I actually was able to hang out in that store for about 90 minutes and talk to the staff and like just shoot the shit. I almost felt like I worked there for about 90 minutes to 2 hours. And then I looked at the time and I was like, oh shit, I gotta head back to the hotel. I gotta pick up my bags. I gotta head to the airport. So I almost like put myself in danger of missing my flight because of how much fun I was having chatting with these guys in the shop, First Aid Comics, outside Chicago. So shout out to those guys. They were a lot of fun. And that's really it. I don't think, I think I showed a good chunk of stuff here between the free stuff and the stuff I paid for, but really I didn't spend a ton. Like I really, I was really super careful with the things that I picked up and very highly selective. So I didn't really go overboard at all. I just got what I felt like I was kind of into and would remember. So
as a as somebody who's mainly tried to focus on comics, who's never been into toys much as a collector, you could have gotten in trouble as a toy collector.
Oh, if you were a toy collector or a statue guy or a pop guy, like I don't know. I'm a
recovering pop guy, so I kind of avoided those.
So Bake is asking me, hey Kachung and Uncanny Kawaka, thanks for stopping by. Bake's asking me, how was the Schmodown? So on Saturday night after the con, I went to the movie trivia Schmodown live at the Athenaeum Theater in Chicago. That was a lot of fun. It was actually my second time going to a live movie trivia Schmodown event. I went to the one in Brooklyn, basically in my backyard. The one in Brooklyn happened around the corner from where I lived several months ago. But the one in Chicago was awesome. There was a Star Wars belt championship match.
Nice.
On the line, and I won't spoil it because that actually hasn't aired on their YouTube channel yet. So that was really fun. And then there was also a tag teams match for the #1 contender slot in that division for the movie trivia Schmodown League, and that was a fun match as well. And there was a lot of drama. They sold out a venue with 1,000 seats. For it, so that just goes to show you how popular this movie trivia league is becoming.
Yeah. So you asked, what's the Schmodown? So
yeah, the Schmodown is it's a movie trivia league where there's different divisions. Like there's a singles division, there's a teams division, there's a Star Wars division, there's a inner geekdom division where it's like all comic book movies and Lord of the Rings and Harry Potter and stuff like that. But essentially, people are competing over their knowledge of movies and movie trivia, movie facts. And there's different styles of rounds. Like some matches are 3-round matches, championship matches are 5-round matches, and each of the rounds has like a different style. Like it'll either be like ask 8 questions and they're all worth a point. And then there's like a round where you spin a wheel like it's like Wheel of Fortune, and whatever category you land on, you get 4 questions in that category, and they're either worth 2 points or 1 point. 2 points if you can answer without multiple choice, 1 point if you can answer with multiple choice. So like there's every round sort of has a particular way that they roll out the trivia questions, but at the end of the day, it's like whoever has the most points at the end of the match wins that match. But basically, what makes it interesting is that they add this like storyline element to it. So Bake commented in the chat, they mix movie trivia with wrestling personalities, and that's exactly what makes it interesting. So it's like people have beefs, there's storylines, there's drama, like people attack each other physically, like as part of the quote unquote story. So all of that is scripted and made up, but the actual movie trivia itself is real. Like the movie, the competition is real, right? So they'll write the story around what happens in the results of the matches. So it's kind of like they're writing the story on the fly. You know what I mean? To add more sort of flavor and interest to what why you want to keep watching it. So for me, it's replaced wrestling. I don't watch wrestling anymore, but I watch Movie Trivia Schmodown because I
have never watched it. I need to watch it.
I find it way more entertaining than actual wrestling because the competition is real, whereas in wrestling the competition is not real, right? They're not actually wrestling each other and competing, right? In the Movie Trivia Schmodown, they're actually competing. Like it's one person's movie knowledge versus the other person's movie knowledge, and plus their knowledge of the way the game works, right? But the storyline stuff just makes it so much more interesting. Anyway, not to belabor the point, but I really enjoyed myself at the live Movie Trivia Schmodown. It was my second live event. They happened to be doing it in Chicago because they were all there for Celebration. So that was definitely a good time. And I packed so much other stuff into my Chicago trip. Like I connected with some local friends. I ate all sorts of Chicago cuisine, especially deep dish pizza, which is probably still
hit the pizza hard, man.
Which is still like sitting at the bottom of my stomach, like waiting to be digested. But yeah, it was a good time overall, and I'm already excited and thinking about going back to both Chicago to have fun there for other reasons, and hopefully to Star Wars Celebration next year in Anaheim 2020, whenever it ends up being. So I think that's it, though. I'm gonna wrap it up here. I think I've been going for about 40-ish minutes here. Anything you want to add before we sign off?
I don't think so, man. It was just a really good time. If you're a Star Wars fan, like if you really love it, I would recommend trying to get to one. I'd put it on the bucket list.
For sure.
I don't know, it's one I'm gonna like chase every year, but I will probably try to go again at some point when it's like when the timing and location works out.
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna try to go next year, but like it's definitely worth it. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to look into next year. I don't necessarily know if I'm committing before I even know all the details. You know what I mean?
Right.
I still need to know, like, what time of the year is it going to be exactly?
Yeah, they didn't really announce anything other than Anaheim.
Yeah, all they said was Anaheim 2020. And it makes sense. The park is going to be right there. So, and I want to go to the park anyway. So it's kind of like I can hopefully kill 2 birds. One stone. Like maybe they'll package it up so you can buy like an ultimate experience, like Celebration plus the park, pass. Who knows? The possibilities are endless if they do it right next to the park, in theory. Yeah. But we shall. It remains to be seen, and we shall see. So hey, what's up, Mo? Thanks for stopping in. I don't think I missed anybody who actually joined us here live, but if I did, I apologize. But I hope you had fun checking out the Star Wars Celebration Hall and hearing a little bit about the time that Jason and I had. Great to meet you in person, man.
Oh, that was the best, man.
Good hang. Probably, honestly, that was the best part. All Star Wars stuff aside, because we are collaborating here on an official show, and we're just both part of the community. So it was awesome to get to hang with somebody who's part of the community. So that's gonna be it, guys. So have a good one. May the force be with you always.